Good morning, so happy to have you here. We're going to be using weights and a WundaCore. I am going to offer a resistance band as a modification during this workout, so if you have one or a long scarf, you might want to grab that too. Alright, so we're going to start with those weights. Let's go ahead and lay down on your mat, all the way down in the center of the mat with your legs long and your arms up. Your arms are up over your shoulders. Allow the weights to help plug your arms into the middle back, so they should sink down and the shoulder blades glide around your ribs. We're going to start with our knees bent, feet flat, and then we're just going to go into a few pelvic tilts. So that means you exhale and your tailbone draws up towards your navel, and then you inhale and you lengthen back to neutral and even a little bit further, and then exhale, roll. That's going to go into a posterior tilt, and then inhale, open into anterior. One more like that. It's a small range of movement, gang, so it shouldn't feel over-exaggerated. Just opening up some space in your low back, and then we're going to tip left to right. So now I'm sending my hip bones, the bones on the front side of your hips, left to right. So it's a real small range of movement, just tipping left to right. Again, opening up some space through the low back, through the hips. And then let's combine that for a pelvic clock. So now I'm going counterclockwise today first. So I'm rolling from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3 to 12. One more time to 9 to 6 to 3, back to 12. Settle into neutral. We're going to go 12 to 3 clockwise, 6 to 9 to 12. It's a small range of movement. Keep your knees and legs quiet. And we're just mobilizing the pelvis, mobilizing the spine, the lower spine, and the hips, and bring it back to neutral. Holding here, make sure your front hip bones, your ASIS, are shining straight up to the sky. Lots of length front and back side of your spine. And let's open up the shoulders a little bit. Right arm lengthens back behind you. I'm going to touch the weight to the ground and intentionally melt the shoulder blade towards my hip. And then inhale, bring it up. Exhale, left arm. Think about the shoulder blade melting down and around the ribs as the arm comes up. Inhale. So we're alternating sides. Exhaling, reaching. And inhale, bring it up. Using the weight as a point of connection. So it's giving us some resistance and some feedback. The floor below our shoulder is helping to keep things stable and increase mobility. A lot of times we think, oh, no way can I get my arm all the way up alongside my ear without cranking up my shoulder. But when we're doing it, removing some of the gravity and giving us some of the feedback of the ground under our shoulder blade, that helps us to find better alignment. You can continue with both arms, or you can keep it single arm. If that feels spicy for you or not like a good choice in your body, then go back to single arm. But two arms is going to give us a little more challenge. Inhaling as we pick it up, exhaling as we set it down. Arms are super long, collarbones are super wide. And next one, hold the arms long over shoulders. And we're going to extend both legs all the way out, keeping a neutral pelvis. And I'm bringing the legs into close parallel. We're going to go into a roll up. So we're going to inhale, just hover the back side of your head. And exhale, set it back down. So the idea as we go through this, inhale to hover, is to find the arms plugging in, and to find the weight of the head being picked up all the way down into the core rather than just gripped on the front side of the neck. One more time, inhale, pick it up. Exhale, start to curl through the spine like you have gear wheels on your spine and roll all the way up to seated. Arms are long in front of you, sitting super tall in an L-sit. Then we're going to lean with a flat back, and then we're going to melt the tailbone and the pelvis. It's almost invisible. Then the low back, then the middle back, then the upper back, the head. Add that arm sweep. We're continuing long. Exhale here. Inhale, pick the head and the arms up. Exhale, rolling through the spine as we raise into an L-sit. Inhale, lean with a flat back. Exhale, tailbone. Keep exhaling, low back. Keep exhaling, upper back. Keep exhaling, arms sweep. It's a super long breath challenge. Inhale, arms pick up and back side of the head. Then once the shoulder blades are up, we're gonna exhale, roll, 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 rise. As tall as you can, keep working. If that feels aggressive in your body, this is the modifier. You can use a long scarf or a red band. You can loop it under the soles of your feet to get additional support as you lower down, because I focus more on this organization and trying to go down and up at the same rate of speed. And if you need a scarf or a band to assist you in doing that, go right ahead. So that's a nice modifier if it feels aggressive. We're gonna hold the next one in a super tall L-sit. Hold in your L-sit. If you need to bend your knees a little to get higher on your sitting bones, that's just fine. And now we're gonna do the double arm raise here. So in my own body, I felt my ribs pop out. So see if you can keep your ribs really organized. Maybe we try one arm at a time. So you can start with one arm at a time and just kind of understand how this is going to feel now that we've added gravity. Shoulder blades melt down and try to keep your upper back from extending. We don't want to go for a bigger range of movement by popping ribs out. So if your arms stay a little bit forward, that's fine. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bring it down, ribs funnel down into the pelvis. Last two. This is going to be the last one like this. And bring it all the way down. All right, so you're going to be able to have an option here of dumbbells or no dumbbells, but we're going to rise into a standing sequence. So dumbbells are an option. WundaCore is also an option. So I'm going to switch to the WundaCore. So I'm going to hold it the wide way in my hands. And we're going to start with a closed parallel position in our feet. Closed parallel position, hands are wide, elbows are wide. And we're just going to start with a few plies, exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. Lots of weight equal across the soles of your feet. Knees and toes are glued together, and ribs stay stacked right on top of your pelvis. Head is right on top of your spine, and we're sending energy inbound on the WundaCore. Think about creasing at the hips, sitting bones broaden as we lower. Inhale as we lengthen. We're going to add a little releve here, so as you lengthen, once your knees are absorbed up into quadriceps, use your inner thighs to lift you onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels melt down, sitting bones broaden, knees and hips crease. Inhale, open from your hip crease, then the knees, then the ankle joints. One more like this, just warming up some space through the lower body. Exhaling, sitting bones broaden, knees crease. Lift and narrow the sitting bones. Lift the inner thighs to pick your heels up. 5, 4, we're holding releve. Last 2, and heels come down. All right, keep your left foot where it is. We're going to glide the right foot back, 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 back. So my right toes are still connected, but the right leg is long. And now we're going to make sure our hip bones are shining straight forward, and they're going to tip forward as we bend the left leg. Left half of the pelvis is rolling over your left thigh bone. So make sure that's all true and organized. You can invite the left thigh bone deeper into the pelvis. All right, energy inbound on the WundaCore. Glue your eyes to something ahead of you, keeping head in line with spine. And then we're just going to start with leg lifts behind us of that right leg. You're choosing how high. It doesn't have to be high at all to get great connection to the back side of the leg. Lock your eyes on something ahead of you for balance support. It's meant to be a balance challenge. Reach that right inner thigh longer than the sole of the foot. Reach the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Reach the left knee away from the left hip. So we want length as we're working. Try to keep equal weight across the sole of your foot. We're going to change it up. Hold the right leg long. Think about all those reaching points. Lengthening through the body, head to toe. Gluing your eyes ahead of you. we are going to bow forward a little bit more, straighten your left leg, right leg reaches back, and then we're going to bring it back to start. So keep the right leg covered. I've now bent the left leg and creased at the left hip, and then we're going to inhale as we lengthen, extend, and reach. Just a few more like this. Think about the thigh bone dropping deeply into the pelvis of the left side. As we bend, inhale to extend. I'm fighting for it too on my end. Here we go. Hold the last one. Fold it forward. Hold the right leg long as far as you can go. Maybe your arms extend up and overhead for 5. Ooh, I'm falling over 2. For 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. Beautiful. All right, we are going to go straight into a hip-focused kneeling squat on the left side. So we're going to come into a turnout with our legs. So we're in a turned out position. My toes are touching behind me, knees are open, and the front side of my feet are down. I'm now going to keep the WundaCore and take the right leg out to the side. So you've got options here. In my own body, I like to have the foot up with the heel only anchored on the right foot. You can choose to have your right foot flat if that's better for you. It would look something like this. All right, here we go. WundaCore is in our hands. Now we're going to stretch out. Stretch out on that WundaCore. We're going to go down and back into a single leg kneeling squat. Exhale down and inhale, pick it up. So you can adjust that right leg as needed. I'm going to bring mine forward a tiny touch. Exhale, sinking that left thigh bone deep into the pelvis. Inhale, bring it up. So you're choosing how far you go down. You don't have to touch your heel, but maybe that's kind of where we're aiming for. Exhaling as we crease and lower, sending energy up on the WundaCore. Inhale, bring it up. I'll tell you what, yesterday when I was kind of practicing some of the sequences we're doing this morning, I was feeling a lot of pressure in my knee, in my left knee, and I was even hearing kind of little creaks and cracks and groans, like not great. And what I found is that I wasn't focused enough on the hip. I wasn't focused enough on the pelvis rolling over the thigh bone. Keep working on your end. I'm going to show you what I mean from a profile. Keep going. So if we focus just on the knee, and notice my torso staying upright, that puts a lot of pressure on the knee. But if I send energy, a lot of forward fold, the pelvis rolling over the thigh bone, creasing deeply, creating space here, that allows for space in the knee as well. Go for one more like that, and we're going to hold it low for you for 5. Invite that left thigh bone deeper into the pelvis for 3. Stretching the WundaCore wide for 2. And go ahead and walk your right knee back to the mat. Beautiful. Staying on our knees, staying in turnout. So now we're back to how we started. We're going to go into a little kneeling squat. It's kind of like our upper body jumps, but we're not going to put our elbows all the way down. So 2 sides are down. Here we go. Exhale. My arms are now long. WundaCore is overhead. And inhale, pick it back up. Again, pelvis rolls over thigh bones, sitting bones broaden as you exhale down. And inhale with length, pick it up. Showing from profile, keep working. So what we want to see, guys, is energy drawing out on the WundaCore. The ribs staying in line with the spine. Lengthening and lifting to raise. Lengthening to lower as well. Moving from the base of the pelvis, that's what is going to get you connected to your core and allow for proper bone rhythm, opening space in your hips, and also allowing for more movement and flexion through your knees. Here we go for 3. Exhale down, inhale up. We're going to take the single leg kneeling squat, other side in 2. Last one. And bring it all the way up. All right, keeping that WundaCore, we're going to come into that single leg kneeling squat on the other side. Again, in my body, I like the heel anchored and the toes lifted, but you can bring it down like this if that serves you better. But notice that it doesn't give you as much external rotation, and I would like that external rotation if it feels doable in your own skin. All right, I'm going to ask you to take the WundaCore narrow this time. So we're going to have our fingertips open, and it's going to give us a different focus of opening collarbones and middle back. All right, remember we're operating from that right hip crease. We're gonna bow the pelvis, bow the ribs, head stays in line with the crown of your head, exhale down, and inhale as we pick it up. Adjust as needed, exhale down, and inhale up. So I know there's a lot of focus and energy through the right hip, but I'd also like you to focus on that energy and effort through the left inner thigh, and opening space there through the left hip as well. Exhale down, inhale, pick it up. Sinking down and back. Sitting bones are broadening, especially on the right side. There's a lot of effort going through that right hip. Using your breath to support you. It's tempting to collapse our back. Keep working on your end. We want to make sure we're not rounding and curling the tail under us as we go down. I'd rather have you travel less distance and keep your pelvis neutral rather than rolling under you. All right, here we go again. We're going to go for 2 more like this. Exhale as you lower. Energy inbound on the WundaCore. Not like squeezing the life out of it, but just finding some of that recoil. And let's hold this last one for 3, for 2. And go ahead, bring it all the way up. Okay, let's take that standing series on the other side. Dumbbells or WundaCore in your hands. If you felt like that was a serious balance challenge on the other side, you can always touch onto a wall or a counter or a chair near you. All right, let's start with a few pliés. Just get ourselves situated. I have the WundaCore the wide way. Knees and toes are glued together. Energy in on the WundaCore. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we lengthen up. Collarbones are wide. Elbows are wide. And let's add a few relevés. So we're going to lengthen the legs and then lift from the inner thighs on the inhale as you raise. Exhale, heels melt down. Sitting bones broaden, and then we're opening from the hip crease, then the knees, then the ankles. Energy inbound on that WundaCore. Exhale, heels down, creasing down. We're going to hold this next relevé, lifting with length for 4, 3, 2, and heels come down. Keep your right foot where it is. We're going to send the left leg, drag the foot back, and open through the front side of the ankle. From here, we are going to bow forward, and we're going to bend the right crease of our hip and our knee. So it's a forward fold, a little bit of a diagonal. And we're going to try to keep equal weight across the sole of the right foot. Try to keep your ASIS, the front side of your hips, shining down at a diagonal, but parallel. And here we go. We're going to start with the reaches of the left leg. Reaching back. Think about the left inner thigh lengthening longer than the sole of the foot. Think about your head staying in line with your spine like a golf ball on a tee. For 3, and then we're going to go into the lift and fold forward into, and hold the left leg covered. You choose how far. We're going to tip further forward and straighten your right leg. It's so wobbly for me too. And then we're going to bend. Try to keep your left leg covered. Torso tips up, bound a little bit. Then we lengthen, reach, and bow forward. Fully extend that right leg as much as you can. Exhale down. I'm fighting for it on this side, guys. I'm really fighting for it, so stay with me. Use balance support as needed. We're going to make this the last one. Oh my God. Lengthen, reach. Fold forward for 3, for 2, and bring your feet down. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take this WundaCore. I'm really liking standing on it lately to go under the arches of our feet. So you're going to bring your feet on top of the curves of your WundaCore and make sure all 10 toes are shining forward. And I'm finding a lot of benefit for this, lifting the arches of the feet and connecting the domes of our arches to our pelvic floor, our diaphragm, roof of mouth, crown of head. So here we go, guys. It's an exhale. It's a small squat because I know your shins are likely touching the WundaCore when we go down. And inhale, pick it up. Exhale as we bow forward, sitting bones broaden again, but now we're working in parallel. Inhale, pick it up. I don't have my dumbbells handy, but you can always grab your dumbbells and reach into a forward raise if you'd like. And inhale, pick it up. So if they are close by and you want to grab them, you go right ahead. Empty hands also work, so if you have empty hands like I do, you're still going to get nice shoulder mobility and increased cardiovascular effort if you're moving the arms as we lower and raise. Let's send some energy down into the soles of the feet. So in my own skin, when I have the WundaCore under my arches, I really have to send a lot of intention and energy to keeping a balance of the weight on the soles of my feet. The front of my feet kind of want to take over and the heels want to lift. So I have to send lots of energy to trying to balance that out to help recruit the front, back, and sidelines of the body. And when I do that, I get so much more out of it. And even though it's pretty challenging to do this, you're going to get a lot of benefit through your entire body by helping to train the soles of your feet. If you have plantar fasciitis, if you get shin splints, if you have trouble with your ankles, even your knees and hips, this is going to be helpful. Last one, bring it all the way up. And we're not going to be done yet. We're going to take our arms up and overhead. If you have dumbbells, set them down real quick. We're going to take our arms up and overhead. We're going to go into a working stretch, increasing flexibility. We're going to roll down. So it should feel like when we started class and we were doing that roll up and off of your mat. And then we're going to bring our hands onto the top curves of your WundaCore. So if that's not achievable for you, bend your knees a little bit. And then I'm going to ask everyone to bend their knees a little bit, like we were doing that squat. And staying in your forward fold, lengthen your legs, thinking of the focus from behind your knee joints up to where you connect to your sitting bones. Exhale, stretch and reach your tailbone way back. Inhale, lengthen from this forward folded position. Can you fold forward even more? I'm bending my elbows. So do what challenges you. Woo! Last one. Staying folded forward, lengthen the legs, hold. Fold a little bit more, looking back between your legs for 3, for 2. With intention, we're going to slowly uncurl, slowly unfurl, stack your head on top of the spine, open your upper back, keeping your low back long, and bring the arms down. We're not done yet, keep working. All right, guys, so we're going to take our WundaCore off to the side, and we're going to grab our dumbbells again. We're going to go into a little kneeling series, and actually, I'm going to have us bring the WundaCore in between our inner thighs. So we're going to use both the WundaCore and the dumbbells. So take the WundaCore just a few inches above your knees, yeah? And you're parallel, make sure it's level and not getting squished. And we're going to continue to work on our spine mobility and our shoulder mobility. All right, dumbbells are in your hands or empty hands works for me. We're going to lengthen out to the sides just a few times. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, bring it down. Making sure that as we raise, we keep lots of space across our collarbones. And that we stop in line with our shoulders rather than popping up to our ears. Thinking about the ribs funneling down into your pelvis. One more time like that. Hold the arms long for 3. Lengthen and reach out the sides of the room for 2. And bring it all the way down. Pause. Staying here with your lower body. Keep your ribs stacked right on top of pelvis. Make sure your sternum is over your pubic bone. Come forward a little bit. Beautiful. All right, and here we go. We're going to take the right arm up, melt the shoulder blade down, and it's going to come alongside your ear as best you can. Use the weight to plug the arm into your middle back. Then we're going to inhale and lengthen the left arm out. So we're making the best L shape we can with our arms, and our torso stays stacked right on top of our pelvis. All right, the left arm is going to sweep across as the ribs rotate. This is an inhale. Doesn't have to go super far. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, pay attention to the front side of your shoulder joint. We don't want to push it. So our right arm hasn't moved. Our hips haven't really moved. It's the left arm, shoulder, and ribs rotating. It's an inhale to cross and an exhale to unwind. Stretch the right arm up, up, up as you melt it down. Plug the left arm into the middle back. Here we go. 2 more, gang. We're going to change it up. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, unwind. Last one like this. Bring it back to your best L shape. Pause. Now the entire torso rotates, including the right arm and right shoulder. That's an inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Keep working. I'm going to show you from profile what it looks like. So the right arm is kind of like our pivot point, as if it was like the hinge of a door. And then everything else is the door moving. But you don't want the right arm to move other than rotating in space, so it shouldn't tip forward or back. 2 more like this. I know it gets really spicy really quick. Here we go. Last one. Inhale, rotate. Right ribs turn, head turns, and this time turn your eyes and your head for 3. Lengthen and lift for 2. Unwind with intention, and bring your arms down. All right, let's roll up the shoulders real quick. We're going to keep the WundaCore. We're going to use our dumbbells. If you have flat edges on your dumbbells, they can kind of be like handles on the ground. Otherwise, put your hands straight onto your mat. So we're going to have our dumbbells down, and we're going to walk our knees right under our hips, 4 inches apart, parallel. Okay, so make sure you have a neutral spine. Your hip bones are shining straight down, lots of length all sides of your waistline, and you're looking straight down in between your thumbs. Okay? Once that's all true, we're going to keep the tops of our feet down and keep our knees down behind us. We're not going to change the pelvis. We're going to round the upper back just a little. Just a little. You should feel your transverse abdominis, like a lot of connection under your core, under your belly area, yeah? And then we're going to imagine on the exhale that a piece of paper has been slid under our knees. That's an exhale. And then inhale, release and set it down. But keep your upper back softly rounded. Exhale, gently hover. And inhale, set it down. It's a smaller range of movement than you think. Keep working on your end. I'm going to come peek. So it's a smaller range of movement than you think because we don't want to pop all the way up. You can even test my theory. You can even try it where you are lifting up like 2 or 3 inches and then setting them back down, and you start to feel bracing and gripping. And we don't want any bracing and gripping. We want to make sure that it is an actual like hammock sensation, lifting. You can think of like a red band under your ribs, lifting you gently, just barely hovering. I'm going to jump back in with you. We're going to go for 2 more like this, gang. Tops of feet are down, tops of feet are heavy, little tiny hover on an exhale. Inhale, set it down. Last one, we're going to hold it up. Hold it up, keep your upper back round. I'm looking like in the space just behind the dumbbells for 3, for 2, and bring it all the way down. All right, let's go ahead and take care of that other side. So we're going to be on our knees again. You can adjust the WundaCore as needed, yeah? And then we're going to take our arms along at our sides. First thing that's going to happen, we're going to draw the left arm up, 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 and bring it down. Let's just get back into that range of movement. Just the left arm lifts and reaches and bring it down. This next time we're going to hold it up. So can I see less from the top of the shoulder and more from the shoulder blade melting down? Use the weight to plug that arm down into your back. Hold it here. Hold. Stretch the elbow into your triceps. All right, here we go. Right arm is going to reach long. So now we're making that L shape again. Okay. Make sure you're not above your shoulder. You can even glance that way. Okay, beautiful adjustment. Palm is flat to the ground. Here we go. Right arm sweeps through the shoulder joint and just the ribs turn. So my left shoulder didn't turn. My left ribs didn't turn. They're responding to the right ribs turning, but we're not going into a full rotation. The focus is really on increasing mobility through the right shoulder, creating stability through the shoulder girdle as we work. Inhale, sweep across, invite the right arm to sink into the little cup or the little dome of your shoulder. We're going to go for 2 more like this. Just the ribs are turning, just the right shoulder. Try to keep the left side pretty darn steady. Can we lengthen that left arm more? I know it's getting spicy. Yeah, beautiful. Let's come back to your L shape. Reset as needed. Stretch both arms, stretch your spine. Now everything turns. It's an inhale, rotate towards the left. Exhale, bring it back. Try to keep the left arm like the hinges of a door. So they're not changing, they're not moving side to side. And we're turning the ribs. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, bring it back. 3 more. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, bring it back. Stretch both arms. It's getting so spicy for me too. Keep it up. Keep your low back long. Pubic bone drawn up and in. We have 2 more. Melt the right shoulder blade down. Mine started to climb up as it gets really fatigued. Last one. Rotate. Bring it back to start. Both arms come out to the sides. Palms go up. Hold. 5. Reach. 4, 3, 2, and bring the arms down. Spectacular job. All right, we're going to sit on our bottoms with our weights and our WundaCore. So you're going to sit on your bottom, and we're going to take the WundaCore around your calves, and that's going to help us plug into our legs as we go into our teaser position, okay? So I have my legs parallel, and then the dumbbells are in each hand. If it is better for you to use your hands behind your thighs to pick up your legs, cool beans, do that. All right, we're going to start in about a 90-90 bend. I have my elbows close to my ribs. Lean with a flat back. Exhale, melt your tailbone under you. Melt your pelvis under you. Inhale for length. And then exhale, float both legs up into your best bent knee teaser. Holding here. We're going to bring the arms forward. I'm holding the dumbbells like candlesticks. We're going to do an isometric hold with the teaser. Exhale, bicep curl towards your shoulders. Inhale, unfold the arms. Exhale, bicep curl towards your shoulders. Inhale towards the arms. I think you guys might not already know this secret, but teaser is the bane of my existence. I find it so challenging, and I find it much more improved when I use the WundaCore here because it takes me out of the front side of my hips. You can see I'm still shaking like crazy because it's so challenging to hold the legs up, hold the WundaCore in organization, and then balance while you're moving the arms. Here we go for 4. Find length in the spine, try not to collapse. Here we go, 3. Lengthening and reaching, inviting the thigh bones to sink deeper into your pelvis. Hold the arms in a challenging spot for you. For me, it's about halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. All right. We are going to take the WundaCore around our ankles, and we're going to set the dumbbells off to the side, going into a little bridge sequence. So they all the way down, WundaCore is around your ankles the wide way. Arms are long at your sides, and we're going to make sure we have enough space for our knees and a neutral pelvis. And we're going to lift in a hinge today, so we're just going to lift in a flat back. Inhale, lift, hold at the top. So your arms can be super active here, imprinting into the mat. Make sure you're just on your shoulders and not all the way up onto your neck. And make sure you have your ribs soft around your spine rather than popping them up to the sky. Once that's all true, we're going to swivel the pelvis over the tops of the thigh bones. A little swivel to the right and a little swivel to the left. So when we have the WundaCore, it's easier or more manageable, it gives us more feedback to keep the legs quiet. Sometimes it's tempting to tip and rock like this side to side. That's too big. Keep it smaller so you can get the core effort, really focusing through the deep abdominals, through your transverse abdominis, internal, external obliques. We've got so much going on here as we stabilize and swivel the pelvis. We've got lots of space, opening up flexibility and function through the hips, recruiting our glutes as we swivel side to side. Lots of energy through the soles of your feet. Here we go, 4. Arms are strongly into the mat. Even yourself out. Last 2. And 1 with a strong flat back, lower down, but barely hover. So I'm moving my arms so you can see that my pants are just barely grazing the mat below me. Your arms can come up or be at your sides. And we're just going to set your hips down. That is an exhale. Inhale, hover your seat off the mat. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, hover. Keep working. Energy outbound into the WundaCore. And you should feel a lot of effort wrapping around your spine. That's your transverse abdominis. So when we were doing those little knee taps earlier, remember we found more effort by traveling less distance. Same thing here. You can test my theory. You can pop up a few inches and see what you see. You're going to start getting gripping in the hamstrings, quads, and through the glutes. But if you just barely hover, It's going to send so much energy and focus from your pubic bone, wrapping around your pelvis, and it attaches to your spine like it's wrapped in saran wrap. Here we go for 3. Here we go for 2. And this is our last one. Bring it all the way down. All right, you guys, we're ready to go into our working stretches. So I'm going to ask you to sit in a little bit of a half lotus with your right leg. And then we're going to take the WundaCore around the ball of your left foot. So I'm sitting nice and tall, sit as tall as you can. And we're just going to hold this and breathe. You can bring your right arm up. You can arc and bend your left elbow, kind of drag the ball of your foot towards you. Lengthening and reaching. And then bring it back up. We're going to do that again. Arcing, reaching, really use the WundaCore to increase how far you can get towards your foot and how flexed you can get your ankle. Creasing deeply at the front side of the ankle. And then go ahead and bring it all up, all the way up. Let's take the other side, straight away. So we're going to sit in a half lotus position on the left leg, and then the right leg is not out super wide today. I have my left foot pretty close to my right thigh. You can just kind of get yourself organized, yeah? And then we can take the left arm up, right elbow bends. It's okay if the sides are different. It's just kind of good data for you to see like, oh, that's where I'm holding some tension, or that's where I could use an additional bit of effort towards stretching and opening. Arcing to the side. Really use the WundaCore to bring the ball of your foot towards you, creasing deeply at your ankle. And bring it forward, and then let's go ahead and go into a camel pose, or a half camel pose rather. I like the WundaCore behind me. You can also use your hand on your hip, or your thigh, or all the way down to your heel. Today I'm going to modify with the WundaCore the long way to show you. So I'm on my knees, taking the left arm up and over, and then I'm going to opening for extension in the upper back, but keeping my abdominals engaged, so they haven't just spilled forward and ignored. Okay, if you have a WundaCore, that's what you can do. Keep working on your end. You can just hold this and breathe. You can also use your heel. It's going to give you a deeper extension through the low back as well. For 3, for 2, and go ahead and strongly come up. Recruit your abdominals to do that. And then we're going to take it on the other side. The WundaCore can come under your left hand. Right arm opens, and this is going to keep the extension focused through the upper back. So the low back's going to get involved a little bit, but it's a lot more supported with the WundaCore under your hand. But you can still get nice extension through the upper spine. And then if you would like to, you can try your hand on your heel or on your thigh to get the whole spine extending, but just do what feels good in your skin. And let's bring our knees, heels down, our hips down to our heels. And then we're going to take the WundaCore. If you have one, we're going to do a little modified puppy pose to finish, so it goes wide in your hands. Okay, and then you bring your elbows down onto the mat. And you can be kind of in a little child's pose, so the hips are sinking down and back. And then I'm bringing the WundaCore behind my head. And that activates a lot of openness and energy through the middle back and across the shoulders. For 4. I have a little energy inbound on the WundaCore, but not a ton. For 2. And go ahead and set your WundaCore down. And you can rise all the way up. Beautiful work, you guys. So glad to have you. I'll see you next time.